The rarest women in the world are not defined by their appearance, their wealth, or the noise of their achievements. They are defined by the quiet strength that moves within them, the kind of strength that doesn't need an audience to exist. They are rare because they make choices that most people are too afraid to make. They choose truth over comfort, purpose over approval, and authenticity over imitation. In a world that constantly demands conformity, they remain unapologetically themselves. They are not shaped by the trends around them, but by the values within them. Every step they take carries intention, and every decision reflects depth. To be rare is to be misunderstood, and they understand that well. The rarest women do not seek to be liked by everyone, they seek to be aligned with what is right. They understand that popularity fades but purpose endures. While others chase recognition, they chase meaning. They refuse to trade their peace for attention or their integrity for acceptance. They do not follow the crowd because they are too busy following their calling. When they walk into a room, they do not demand respect, they command it through presence, through energy, through authenticity. The rarest women know that strength is not loud, it's steady. It's not in dominance, but in discipline. They don't raise their voices to be heard. They raise their standards and let that speak for them. They are not easily impressed, nor easily broken. Life has tested them, but instead of becoming bitter, they became wise. They learned that storms don't destroy strong roots, they reveal them. Each challenge they've faced has refined them, each disappointment has redirected them, and each loss has taught them what truly matters. These women carry grace like armor. They understand that grace is not weakness. It is control in chaos, calm in conflict, and faith in uncertainty. They are not perfect, nor do they try to be. They simply honor who they are and who they are becoming. When the world tells them they are too much, they smile because they know they were never meant to be small. They don't apologize for their ambition, their strength, or their softness. They have learned that the balance between power and compassion is what makes them unstoppable. The rarest women move through life with quiet confidence. They do not rush their journey because they understand that everything meaningful takes time. They trust themselves even when the path is unclear, because they have learned that faith is stronger than fear. Their worth is not determined by how many people notice them, but by how deeply they remain true to their values. They know that being rare means being willing to stand alone when necessary, to say no when everyone else says yes, and to remain kind in a world that often forgets kindness. The rarest women in the world are not born that way, they become that way, through courage, through patience, and through a relentless commitment to live with purpose. The universe is always speaking to you, but most people are too distracted to listen. Every event, every delay, every unexpected turn carries a message meant to guide you. When you face rejection, when something doesn't go your way, when doors close despite your efforts, these are not accidents. They are signs, subtle reminders that there is a different path meant for you. The universe doesn't send confusion, it sends redirection. Yet too often, people ignore it. They chase what is familiar, even when it no longer fits. They hold on to what is ending, even when something greater is trying to begin. The rare ones understand this truth. They don't fight against the current, they learn to flow with it. They know that the universe doesn't always speak through miracles. Sometimes it speaks through silence, through delays, through moments that test your patience. When things fall apart, they don't immediately label it as failure. They ask, "What is this teaching me?" They understand that unanswered prayers are not neglect. They are protection. The universe is not denying you, it's preparing you. It's reshaping your path so that when the right opportunity arrives, you are strong enough, wise enough, and ready enough to receive it. Most people miss their destiny not because it isn't sent to them, but because they are too busy chasing what was never meant for them. They ignore the signals, the discomfort, the constant obstacles, the inner voice whispering that something isn't right. But those who are rare, those who listen, recognize that intuition is not a coincidence. It's communication. It's how the universe aligns you with purpose. Every time you feel uneasy about something, it's not random, it's a warning. Every time you lose something or someone unexpectedly, it's a release. The rare woman doesn't panic when life changes, she pays attention. She trusts that even in stillness, something greater is at work. There's a rhythm to the universe, an unseen harmony between what you want and what you need. The rarest women have learned to trust that rhythm. They no longer question every detour because they understand that detours often lead to destiny. They realize that timing is not always in their control, but trust always is. They have trained themselves to find peace in the waiting, to find strength in the unknown. They know that what is meant for them cannot be taken away, and what leaves them was never meant to stay. Listening to the universe requires humility. It means admitting that you don't always know what's best for you. It means letting go of the illusion of control. The rare ones know that surrender is not giving up, it's aligning with something greater than themselves. They know that when the universe closes one door, it's because it has already opened another. They don't resist the signs, they respond to them, and because of that, life unfolds for them in extraordinary ways. They live not by chance, but by connection, connected to their purpose, to their intuition, and to the quiet wisdom that the universe has been whispering all along. There comes a point in every person's life when standing alone becomes necessary. The rarest women have reached that point and embraced it fully. They understand that solitude is not emptiness, it is strength in its purest form. They do not fear being alone because they know that clarity often comes in silence. They have learned that when the noise of the world fades, the voice of truth becomes louder. Most people run from loneliness, but the rare woman walks into it with courage. She knows that solitude is not a punishment, it's preparation. It's in those quiet moments that she finds herself, her thoughts, her values, her identity. The rarest women are not afraid to walk away from the crowd. They would rather stand for something true than blend in with something meaningless. They understand that being surrounded by people does not always mean being supported, and being alone does not always mean being lost. They choose integrity over inclusion, even when it costs them comfort. The easy path may bring company, but the right path brings purpose. The rare woman has the courage to take the right path, even if it means walking it alone. She knows that the world often misunderstands those who choose differently. When she refuses to settle, she is called stubborn. When she speaks her truth, she is called difficult, but she does not let the world's labels define her worth. She stays grounded in her principles, knowing that the ones who misunderstand her now may one day respect her strength. True courage is not shouting the loudest. It's standing firm when your voice trembles. It's having the conviction to say no when everyone else says yes. The rare woman knows that silence can be more powerful than noise, and solitude can be more fulfilling than shallow connection. The rarest women don't isolate themselves because they dislike people. They simply refuse to lose themselves trying to please them. They know the value of energy and the importance of boundaries. They protect their peace fiercely because they've learned how fragile peace becomes when constantly compromised. They don't chase validation because they've discovered the deeper reward of self-respect. They have stopped explaining themselves to those committed to misunderstanding them. They have stopped shrinking to fit into places where they were never meant to belong. Instead, they build their own space, one filled with truth, vision, and quiet power. Standing alone is not easy. It tests your faith, your patience, and your courage. But the rare woman knows that it is in standing alone that one becomes unshakable. She learns to trust herself, to believe in her own voice, and to rely on her inner strength rather than external applause. In solitude, she becomes whole. She no longer needs the world to confirm her worth because she has already seen it within. The rare woman does not walk alone because she has no one. She walks alone because she has herself. And in that truth lies the most profound freedom, the freedom to live, to lead, and to love without fear of losing who she truly is. Pain has a way of revealing who we truly are. The rarest women in the world understand that pain is not meant to destroy them, but to define them. They have felt broken, misunderstood, and unseen, yet they have used those moments as fuel to grow stronger. They know that pain is the universe's most powerful teacher, the kind that doesn't speak through words, but through experience. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every setback has shaped them into something extraordinary. They don't hide their scars because they know those scars are proof that they healed. The rare woman has learned to see pain not as a curse, but as a calling, a call to rise, to transform, to evolve into her higher self. Most people run from pain. They see it as an obstacle, something to escape or numb. But the rare woman leans into it. She sits with it, listens to it, learns from it. She knows that every moment of struggle holds wisdom if she's willing to stay long enough to understand it. She does not ask, "Why me?" but rather, "What is this trying to teach me?" She realizes that the moments that broke her were also the ones that built her. She has cried in silence and risen in strength. Through every loss, she discovered what truly matters: resilience, faith, and the unshakable belief that no storm lasts forever. Pain has been her greatest sculptor. It has stripped away her illusions, forced her to confront her fears, and taught her what real courage looks like. She no longer measures life by comfort, but by growth. She understands that growth is often uncomfortable, that healing is rarely beautiful while it's happening. There were times she wanted to give up, times she questioned her worth, times she felt invisible, but through those moments she found herself. She discovered that strength is not about never breaking, but about rebuilding with grace each time you do. She became softer in spirit, but stronger in will, humble in heart, but unbreakable in faith. The rarest women are not the ones who avoid pain, they are the ones who transform it. They take their wounds and turn them into wisdom. They take their struggles and turn them into stories of hope. They refuse to let bitterness take root, no matter how much they've been hurt. Instead, they choose compassion. They understand that pain is not always a sign of something ending. Sometimes it's the sign of something beginning. They know that every ending carves space for a new chapter, a better version of themselves waiting to emerge. The rare woman stands today not because her path was easy, but because she refused to stay down when life knocked her over. She has learned to see beauty in brokenness and strength in surrender. Pain did not harden her heart, it purified it. It made her wiser, deeper, and more connected to her purpose. Now, when she looks back, she doesn't see suffering, she sees transformation. She understands that the pain she once feared became the light that led her home to her truth, her power, and the woman she was always meant to become. There comes a time when you realize that becoming rare is not about waiting for a sign. It's about becoming the sign yourself. The universe has been sending you messages all along, moments that whisper, push, and sometimes even break you open, but transformation only begins when you decide to listen. The rarest women in the world are not chosen by luck or born into greatness. They become rare the moment they stop ignoring the call of their own potential. They understand that destiny is not something you find, it's something you create through intention, courage, and self-belief. Every single day becomes a choice to rise or to remain the same, and the rare woman chooses to rise. She stops waiting for permission, for perfect timing, for someone to tell her she's ready. She understands that readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. She steps forward with trembling hands and a steady heart because she knows that fear is not a signal to stop, but a sign that she's moving towards something that matters. The rare woman learns that no one else can walk her path for her. No one else can speak her truth, dream her dreams, or fulfill her purpose. She must do it herself, even when the road feels uncertain, even when others doubt her. And so, she moves not because she has everything figured out, but because she has faith that she will figure it out along the way. Becoming rare is not about perfection, it's about persistence. The rare woman doesn't need to have all the answers. She simply keeps showing up for herself, for her purpose, for the vision that burns quietly inside her. She learns to celebrate progress instead of perfection, to honor the small steps that no one sees but that change everything. She realizes that every great transformation begins invisibly beneath the surface, in the unseen work of the soul. It is there, in the moments of doubt and discipline, that she becomes who she was always meant to be. The universe continues to send opportunities disguised as challenges. It keeps testing her faith, not to break her, but to build her into the woman who can handle what she's asking for. The rare woman learns to trust this process. She no longer sees obstacles as barriers, she sees them as bridges. Every setback becomes a setup for strength, every ending a doorway to renewal. She stops asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and starts saying, "This is happening for me." That shift changes everything: her mindset, her choices, her life. And when she finally stands in her truth, she understands what it means to be rare. It's not about standing above others, it's about standing within yourself. It's about living with integrity, with heart, with unwavering faith in your own path. The rarest woman becomes the message she once searched for. She becomes living proof that no matter how many times life knocks you down, you can rise again wiser, braver, and more radiant than before. She becomes the reminder that the universe has never stopped sending signs. It was just waiting for her to listen, to believe, and to become everything she was meant to be.